you're a weenie.
Big weenie.
I went over to the park.
You did?
I did.
Oh, it was all
I did.
wet.
And it was so soggy, and there was so much driving rain that everything was wet.
Yeah.
And not
You actually went there?
Yeah, not that we can't dry it off, because we can, but
Right.
so there's
Everybody could have brought garbage bags to sit on.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
put it on top of the bench.
Yeah.
I am of the opinion now that if it's wet, it's canceled.
Yeah.
Electrically
Probably.
too,
Probably
right?
right back.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually something I didn't really consider. I was just
Yeah.
talking about comfort.
Yeah.
But yeah, electronic equipment as well. That it's not good for instruments. It's not good for people. It's not good for
I thought
electronic
humidity
devices.
was good for ukuleles.
Not too much humidity, and sitting in water is certainly too much humidity. Like, you don't want water to get into your instruments. It's a very bad thing. Although I guess in Hawaii they do it all the time, so who knows? Maybe I don't know. We'll give everybody a couple minutes. It was a relatively big class last time, so I'll give it a little bit of time to let people show up. See, they're popping up all over the place. Here's Herb.
A good old group.
It's a good group. It's a good group. Hi, Nancy.
Yeah.
David. Where's Yaya?
He will be here right now, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She will be. Okay.
I
Her
see.
chair there.
I see David's couch.
He was there.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I hope he's coming back. I see Vicky's orange and blue wall, which is pretty cool. And Santa. Look at that. I see Santa Claus and a snowman. Look at that. Very nice. Very Christmassy. Oh, man. Christmas.
Very cheerful. Oh, yeah.
You got to see upstairs in my house. It's a winter wonderland up there. Not so much in my room, but my sister, she like took the tree outside and flocked it, and it was a whole, the whole big thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Blocked it?
Flocked.
What is that?
With an F.
Yeah, what's that mean? Flock the tree?
There's this stuff called flocking, which is like a white, powdery, sticky substance. It makes it looks like snow, basically.
No, yeah.
Once it's all done. So yeah, it's like white Christmas up there, which I like everything about Christmas, and this is gonna make very little sense except the music. I just don't really like Christmas like really Christmassy music. I like Christmas music that doesn't really mention Christmas all that much, if that makes sense. Like classy Christmas music that doesn't just drive it into your skull that it's Christmas and you have to be happy. Like, please come home for Christmas. That's pretty cool. But maybe not a Christmas song. I don't know. Look at this.
There's Yaya.
There's so many people now.
So happy to see you all.
Hi, Yaya.
Good
Hi.
seeing you. So, and Beverly.
All right, so now that
I won't do much.
people are still trickling in here, I want you guys to start considering what you might want to talk about for today's lesson.
Oh, okay.
Again, I'm open to anything. Oh, and sorry about the last lesson. It's up on YouTube, but only half of it is there. Not lesson, the last class, the last play along that we had. What happened was it starts converting the video as soon as you exit, right? And as it started converting the video, it said that there was an update, and I didn't really read it. I just clicked OK, which is like a very my mother thing to do, and and that was my fault. But it went to it started updating the software and cut off the conversion like halfway through it. So that's why there's only 30 minutes of video that converted. I couldn't fix it afterwards. I went to see if maybe it like had stored there was nothing there for me to fix. So yeah, so there's only 30 minutes of the last class. Sorry about that, but I won't update mid conversion again. So hopefully we won't run into that.
Like the commercial,
it's
we're
only-
becoming like our parents.
What's that, Herb?
Like the commercial, they say we're becoming like our parents.
Like our parents?
Yeah, you say you're like like your mom.
Oh, no,
Blame it on the mother. Everybody blames it on the mother.
I didn't blame it on my mother. That's her big thing. But listen, I used to run into problems with her all the time because she would say something popped up on my screen. I hit OK, and now all my text is in Korean. And I don't know. I need to know what popped up on the screen, right? Like what was it? And she would say, I didn't read it. I just hit OK. And that was very frustrating because it made it almost impossible to figure out what happened. Like, okay, so your computer's in Korean now. I don't know how to fix it. I'm sorry. You know, and I did that. I just clicked it without thinking, without reading it, because I just assumed it had something to do with the conversion. But then it started updating the software and it screwed everything up. So if you ask me, that's poorly designed software. So I don't blame myself. I blame the software company. So we can talk about anything you guys want. I believe we went over some. Yes, Dee, what do you got?
Okay, I got this little soprano. This,
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Nice.
and it doesn't, even though I tune it,
Uh-huh.
it's when I'm playing like my songs, it just doesn't sound right. So I went and borrowed this one from my neighbor,
Uh-huh.
which is actually too big for me, but even though I've tuned it, it still doesn't sound right. It doesn't go along with like Jingle Bells and Frosty the Snowman.
Can you just play a C chord on it for me?
Is the fourth string?
You put your first finger on the 3rd fret, 1st string. Yep. Oh, that sounds fine. Yeah, that's in tune.
All right, what about this one?
Okay. That is also in tune.
But when I'm the song that I know, it doesn't seem to go with the song.
So let me just jump in because my sister and I have had multiple conversations about this.
Just a couple.
Just a few. So I told her that a lot of us already have the low G string
Oh.
put on, but her children have been texting me trying to look for a potential gift for her. And I keep sending them, you know, I have the.
Are you going to tell her what her gift is right now?
She already, trust me, she already knows. at this
Oh,
point.
okay.
That and a Starbucks gift card, I'm for sure that's in her future. But
Wow. Way
so
to ruin Christmas.
what is the next size up from the soprano? Is it a concert?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a concert. Some companies make like weird, like super soprano and stuff like that. There are some other weird sizes sort of in between out there, but
Yeah.
the next, like the classic ukulele sizes, the next one up is, yeah, David was right. It's a concert. Absolutely.
Right. So I told her.
That looks like a tenor. So it's probably smaller than that by a little bit, the one you're holding up.
This one's too big for me.
Yeah, so a concert, if the other one's too small, then a concert will be, you know, the Goldilocks zone for you.
Okay. And then I told her to bring it to the store like I did and and David did and have them just replace that G string with a low G.
Perfect. That's the best way to do it. I would never recommend that someone tries to change ukulele strings. I don't know if anyone was there when I attempted to do it myself at the senior center. I was so angry, so annoyed. I couldn't get the knots right. And then like there was a little piece of plastic hanging off here because I didn't tuck it under. Right. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So what I started doing was tying knots. And it works. I mean, this one, I haven't changed these strings in forever. The knots work, but what would work even better is just bring it to somebody. Absolutely. Just bring it to somebody. I think at most it'll cost like 30, 40 bucks for them to change your strings. It's not like a setup or anything like that.
Concert, you have a low.
What's the difference between a G and a low G? I don't get it. I didn't know there was a difference.
Okay, so good, because this is a class, basic education time. So a normal ukulele is tuned with what's called re-entrant tuning, which means it's got a high sounding G here. Can someone hit their high G if they have one? You hear that? There you go. Yeah, exactly. And then it goes lower, right? And then goes up again, and then goes up again. So it starts high, goes low, goes up, goes up. That's called re-entrant tuning. Most stringed instruments just go low to high, right? They just go low, a little bit higher, all the way on up. A guitar does that, a bass does that. You know, most stringed instruments, maybe not most, but yeah, probably most stringed instruments are strung that way. You can put another string on the lowest string of your ukulele and tune it to, it has to be a thicker string than the one you have, because you can even visually see it, that it's a skinny string, then it gets fatter, then it gets smaller, and then it gets smaller, right? That's on a re-entrant tuning. On ours, it's a big fat string, then a little skinnier, then a little skinnier, then a little skinnier. So the low G, instead of being bong, is bong, right? So that's the low G. Now, when I strum a chord, or it's got more of a, there's more of a depth to it. I like it because it responds more like a, it's not the classic way that a ukulele is tuned, right? So it's not like the Hawaiian way, or the, well, I don't know if it was, what was it, Portuguese way, you know, that it was originally done, but it sounds more like a guitar to me, or more like you know, with that low bass. I like that sound, right? And when you're finger picking, you got that bass note going in your thumb, right?
But you tune the strings to the same notes.
It's a G, but it's an octave lower. So like if you were looking at, say, a piano and you hit a G, you would go down 12 keys, ding, and hit it again. Well, 7 white keys or 12 full keys, counting the black ones. And that's the note you're tuning it to. So yes, it's still going to show up as a G on your tuner, but it's lower. It's the lower G. Yeah. Which is the one slightly confusing thing about tuners, is a G is a G is a G. It doesn't really tell you. I wish that tuners would tell you like G3, G4, G5, because that would give you at least a position on the keyboard where they are, so you would know how high or low that they sounded, right? But
So you pluck the 12th fret, you get that.
yeah, the 12th fret. Wait, which one's my 12th fret? Probably this one. Yeah, there we go. The 12th fret is an octave up. That's closer to what the original G would sound like, you know? It's really hard to do with my big fat fingers on this tiny little fret, but yeah.
That was good. Thank you. And I just wanted to let Beverly, when we ever get back into the senior center, you'll notice a big difference when you're playing in the group, because the low G for me, just sounded richer. It just gave a nicer tone to it. But it's hard for you to hear it now, because you're listening to what you're playing. And that was the reason, you know, I went on this quest to get this low G string.
Yeah, I don't have that fine of an ear, so it didn't make that much difference to me, so.
Yeah, you know, and to some people, it doesn't really sound all that different, you know, and it's up to the user what they like better. It makes it's, you know, a relatively slight difference lowering one string by an octave. It's not massive. It's not going to change your ukulele playing or make you go from like a professional to a, you know, whatever. But to me, it makes enough of a difference in the sound, because I'm very familiar with playing guitar, right? And just felt so weird to have a high string in the low string position that I changed it to a low G almost immediately, you know. And actually what I did, which believe it or not, the fourth and the third string on my ukulele are the same size string. They're both a G string from a regular set. I just took another G string from another set because I didn't have a low, I'm sorry, they're C strings from a regular set. So I just took another C string from a set of ukulele strings and put it in the fourth string spot and lowered it down to a G. But get, you know, bring it to somebody. That's definitely the better way to do it. Definitely bring it to somebody because it's a huge pain. But if it's not sounding right to you, that might have something to do with it. And the other thing, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but you might want to look at how you're playing the chords, right? And how you're switching. Because it doesn't, if it's not the ukulele, then it might be the technique, right? It might be something that's happening when you're switching chords that doesn't sound like the song to me, you know? Until you're sort of, your technique gets to the point where you're playing in time, you know, especially if you're taking a lot of time between switching chords, it's not going to sound quite like the song until you are switching in rhythm, right? Like if I were to play you a song right now and took a whole bunch of time between, which is fine, everyone takes a lot of time to switch chords when they first start playing. That's perfectly normal. You're not like, oh God, I can't do this. No. Everybody does that. Everybody goes, okay, third finger, that's the second fret. You know, everybody does that. I did it, everyone else does it. But it'll start to sound like the song when you start getting a little quicker, right? Because if I played you a song where I paused in between this for a long time, you would struggle to guess what the song was, right? You wouldn't be able to know right off the bat what is he playing, because the rhythm is part of the song. It's a big part of the song, and the rhythm is broken when it takes a long time to put to change between chords. So there's nothing wrong with your ukuleles. You might do better with a low G. Keep practicing. There you go. Summed up. Yeah. So thank you, Dee. That was a good one. That brought up some tuning stuff and, you know, re-entrant tuning and all that. That was good. Who's next? Anybody? I know you've got questions. Everybody said they wanted a class. So here I am, teaching a class. I got a whole big book on, what's it called? On strumming that I think everyone might really enjoy. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Strumming by Dan Thorpe. And it's for guitar, but it's the same principles, right? And he's very against strumming with your thumb, which I like, because I don't like that either. But he's got different strums. He's got all kinds of different techniques and rhythms. I mean, the book it's long. Let's see. Oh, of course the pages are 380 pages about strumming. So I'm gonna upload that PDF and give it to you guys. Don't tell anybody you got it from me, you know. But and it is guitar related. So it'll show like it'll say, you know, a G chord and then show the symbol for a G, and it's gonna look totally foreign to you because, you know, you guys play ukulele, but just play the chord that you know to be a G, right? And then follow along. And all of the links in the book to audio examples work. So you can go and listen to what he's doing and how he's doing the strumming. So you can practice along with it with your ukulele. So, yes, Dee.
Sorry. Since I'm relatively new at this, will my strumming catch up with my chords? Because which should I focus on more right now? The chords or the strumming? My sister said chords.
Yeah, I'd say in the beginning, chords for sure. Chords and then switch. Go ahead.
I've been doing it for a few months, so it's not like I'm a beginner, but.
Yeah, you know, it takes people different time though. You know, I'd say in a few months, how much do you play every day? Or do you play every day?
Yeah, about 20 minutes to a half hour.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, you should be coming. This is the thing. I haven't really gotten to hear very many of you guys, and I don't want to put anybody on the spot. You know, the thing about the group, and I think people were always surprised, but I could tell how people were progressing even when everyone was playing in a group. It was, I don't know if that's from playing in bands or what, but I was sort of able to differentiate without singling people out, you know? So it's hard for me to say if you're in a spot where you should be, you know, given how much you've been practicing.
Right.
But it takes time, and it takes a different amount of time for everybody, you know? Can you switch chords in a beat? Meaning if a song's going 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got to go C, G, right? And that's one beat. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then if you can do that with most of the chords, you can start looking at strumming now, right? Once you get to a point where you can play you know basically all the chord shapes, you can switch between the chord shapes, then you can start looking at different strumming patterns and learning those. And don't be surprised if when you start playing the strumming patterns, then your chord stuff starts to get a little weird too, right? Because you're going to go to switch, but you're thinking about down, down, up, down, up. So then you forget what's an E7. That's going to happen, right? Your brain can only do a few things at once, and you're asking it to do a lot. So until, you know, so again, what you want to do is simplify it, right? When you're learning strumming, just work on the songs at the very beginning of the songbook, right? That have maybe 2, maybe 3 chords in them, that are very rhythmically simple, and practice those first. Don't go towards the end where we've got all these crazy chords and different changes. And, you know, recently we haven't been looking at whether a song is easy or difficult at all. In the beginning we were. Those are all songs that should be pretty easy to switch between the chords. So go back to the beginning of the songbook and try the strumming patterns on those and learn the island strum first. Like really work on that, because you can use that in every song, practically.
I don't know what the island strum is.
Okay. The island strum is down, down, up, down, up. So down, down, up, down, up. So down, then you move your hand up to the top, down. From here, you just come up. Then you move your hand back down to the bottom and up, down, up. So down, down, up, down, up, right? A down strum is always going to go from the 4th string to the 1st string. And an up strum always goes from the 1st string to the 4th string, the other way. So if you do it down and you have to do another down, you have to move your finger to the top again, right? So 2 downs in a row, you have to move your hand like this, right? So down, down, up, down, up. Something about that strum rhythmically, and I don't know the musical reason behind it, it works for everything. It just works for everything. Any song that's counted in 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's amazing how well that strum works. You know, not every single song, but a vast majority of the songs work with that strum.
I lost my songbook on my computers. Can anybody send it to me again?
Yeah, we could have someone email you the link. It's just actually, I could put the link, if you don't mind, Herb, in the chat right now. I think he said okay. I'll just put the link to it right here. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
Why not?
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just asking. Should I give her the roll up or the actual? Yeah, you want the PDF, like the whole file, right?
Yes.
Okay, here you go.
Actually, another one's better.
What, the folder?
Yeah, because that one's going to be updated all the time. The roll-ups, you have to go
the
to
roll-up
another
has to be
site.
changed. Yeah, okay.
And the roll-up's intended for us to be doing it offline. So if she's online, it's better to have the most current.
Right. Yeah, so are you connected to the internet, like using a browser and everything? Okay, so this link, you put this link in your address bar and it'll show every PDF for all of the songs individually. So you just can pick a song that you want to do. Where's my cat? Here we go. To everyone. There you go. Click that link in the chat and you're gonna love what you see. All the work that Herb does. I mean, he's just.
And we could set it out back out again as an email.
Yeah, we could do that too for everybody, just to remind them. I know it's easy because when I'm playing, it's just looking at your own screen, but it's essentially the same thing. When you click that link, you're gonna see what you see when I'm playing, right? It's just a list. I'll show you right now.
Yeah, but then I don't know how to retrieve it after. After
You
going up, how do I get the link?
put. Do you know how to favorite something or bookmark something?
No,
So you see up here, this is what do you use? Do you use Internet Explorer or do you use Chrome or do you use?
I can use Chrome.
Okay, so if you use Chrome, this is Chrome, right? See
Yeah.
this little star right here? I'm circling it on my screen.
Yep.
If you
Yep.
click that, it'll turn blue and you choose bookmarks bar, right?
Okay.
Right here. And then you hit done. I'm not going to do it right now, but I want to unfavorite it. Remove. There we go. And then what you'll see is this, something like this. It'll
Yeah.
look like a little triangle like that, and it'll say songbook, second edition, update, something or other. And it'll be in this bar right here,
Yeah.
right here. You'll see it appear in the bar underneath the address bar, which is where you actually type in the link. The other way to do it is to just copy the link and save it in like a notepad file somewhere, or, I would say write it down, but it's pretty crazy looking.
Well,
Uh,
I was ready to write it down.
Yeah,
Or just, you know what? Take a picture with your phone. It's faster. That's what I just did.
Okay.
of the URL. Oh yeah, you could do that too. Bookmarking it is the best way to do it because then later all you have to do is click on that bookmark and the page shows up, right?
Yeah, I do that on my Chromebook, but I'm on an iPad right now. So I'll send myself the picture and then I'll click on it on the Chromebook.
You can do that, or you can copy the link into an email, send yourself an email, and then click it in your email, right? You could do that too. There's lots of ways to save links, and some of them are better than others. I'm gonna say that taking a picture probably not the best way. Just saying. I love your ingenuity.
Baby, it works.
If it works for you, that's great. But then don't you have to look at it and stare at all the little letters and go 1 S A C?
No, I just copy paste it. And I can copy paste it into the email.
The photo? The photo well, we'll get into that some other time. We're learning about ukulele right now. So that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And that brings up all the and we'll send out Vicky, if you don't mind, maybe a mass email to everybody saying it'll be like a blue line in the email. You just click on that, and then every time you go to your email, all you have to do is open up that email and click on that link, and it'll take you right there.
All right, thank you.
No problem. No problem. Look at what we're learning about the internet. I'm so glad that we have all this going. There's so much stuff. You know, what else you guys want to know? You know, I'm not good with cars, but I could teach you about, no. What do you got? Yeah, let's hear it.
I like to know, I look at some music, at the end, there's a word called tremolo.
Tremolo, yes.
Tremolo.
Tremolo.
How the tremolo sounds like.
Okay, so there's tremolo and vibrato. Okay, and a lot of people use tremolo interchangeably with vibrato, but that's wrong. They are two different things. So what the person means in your sheet of music, I'm almost certain is vibrato, okay? What vibrato is shaking a note, right? So let's say you play a note, I don't know, we'll just go to the 5th fret, 3rd string, right? Hit that note. Now vibrato is this. See me shaking the note up and down? I'm doing it very extremely. You're
That's
basically
how-
bending the note and then coming back to the same place again. But it's very, very quick. And it's very, you know, at the end when a singer sings like a really long held out thing and then their voice starts going, like that, that's vibrato, right? That's changing the pitch very slightly, either up or down, and bending it back and forth, right? And it gives it like it's like a little character to the note. So it's not just a note it's just hanging there. It's a note that's changing over time, right? So if you hit that note, trying to get rid of it. Now you don't need it that extreme. You don't need to bend it that far, just a little bit. And some people shake their hand back and forth like this. You can do that. You can bend it up and down. You can even do it with your arm. Some people have like get their whole arm into it. That's vibrato.
Vibrato.
Tremolo changes the volume up and down, right? So tremolo would be like right? It's the same note, but the volume is going up and down, right? Now tremolo is usually is done with like an effect. You know, you ever see those boxes on the floor, those stomp boxes that guitar players play that they step on? Those are called stomp boxes or effects, and they do different things. One of the things they do is tremolo. You could also do it with a volume knob on like an electric guitar. You know, you could turn the volume knob up and down, but it's not really something that can be done with a acoustic instrument. Vibrato, however, you can do with an acoustic instrument. Some people, like I said, they use the words interchangeably. They say tremolo, vibrato, it's the same thing, but it's really not. So he probably means vibrato because you can't really do tremolo with a ukulele, right? But with vibrato, and you could do vibrato with a whole chord. You know, it's not as easy to pull like the whole chord like that, but you could do that. And all I'm doing is bending the string a little bit so that the pitch goes up and then letting go so that the pitch goes back to normal. So pitch goes up a little bit, up a little bit, pitch comes back to normal. Up a little bit, comes back to normal. And you do that over and over again. So I hit the note once, like that, and then bend the string like this.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, that's vibrato.
That's vibrato, which is probably what whoever wrote that sheet music meant when they wrote tremolo, right? Lots of people use that interchangeably. And there's even a video online of a musician that goes on a rant about how they're not the same thing and how using it as the same thing is very confusing because they're two different words for two totally separate processes, right? Even guitarists get it wrong because they have a bar, that whammy bar, you know, that you can bend to bend all the strings. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, where you can grab the bar and just go and bend all the strings. They call it a tremolo arm, but it's a vibrato arm. You see what I mean? Like, so even really, you know, it's misused a lot. But yes, it's all that means is bending the note a little bit. And it's very much trying to get, so many people try to use their instrument to sound like other instruments or sounds, right? It's a thing. Like if you're playing guitar, you want to try to make it sound like a piano. The piano players try to make it sound like a guitar because guitars can bend notes and piano players can't. So they do that sliding thing between notes. What vibrato is an attempt to make a stringed instrument sound like a voice, like a human voice, right? So the note gets sustained And then right at the end, you start bending it up and down a little bit, just like a singer would do when they were like singing a long note that I can't demonstrate. But, you know, listen to anything by, you know, Whitney Houston, anything like that. People, you know, these singers, even Mariah Carey had crazy vibrato where their voices would sort of waver like that. You know, it's a technique I never mastered with my voice, but I can do with my guitar and my ukulele, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
I think we got a couple of songs of using the word tremolo. I think those cases, they just very fast up and down strum.
Oh, really? Tremolo strumming.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a different thing too, and that also is a very quick change in the volume, right? Like so you, because you're strumming, not strumming, strumming, not strumming. You know, yeah. So those words can be very confusing because you can see them used for many different things in different ways, right? So the only way to really be sure about what do they mean by that is to try to listen to a recorded version of the song that you're reading the sheet music for, right? And see what they did with it. Specifically try to listen to it on whatever instrument you're trying to learn it on. In this case, ukulele. So whatever song you're trying to learn, try to find someone who played that song on a ukulele and see what they did with it. You know, see what they meant, you know. Because it can have many different meanings to many different people, you know? Although usually when you have a tremolo strum, Herb, doesn't it say like up, down, or something like that? Or does it just say tremolo?
I look at the
I'm not hearing you for some reason, Herb. I'm sorry. You're
Sorry.
unmuted, but there you go.
Well, I got two mutes. I got a physical mute and I got a software mute.
That's awesome. The engineer,
Well,
ladies and gentlemen.
Normally they have like the tilde sign.
A tilde, yeah.
The tilde before and tilde after in some cases.
Yeah. So, and to make it even more confusing, depending on the genre of music that you're playing, it could mean something different too, right? So it's a little hard to say. Can you tell me what the piece of music is?
I think we might have it in sway.
In sway? But I'm talking about what Yaya was looking at specifically.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town. All right.
Yeah.
For ukulele?
In our songbook.
Oh, it's in the songbook. Okay.
34. Yeah, that's
34.
Oh, that's the
No, this
Holiday?
is for
Holiday
Christmas.
Christmas
I think.
special. Yeah, but
Christmas special.
that's
Do you have a holiday folder, Herb, somewhere?
Yeah, holiday.
I might. I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm starting to play with that. I guess I'll play with that next week.
Yeah, I don't know if I see it. I'm gonna search Santa Claus is coming to town and see if it comes up. Songbook first edition.
No.
That's what it came up in.
Probably in the holiday special folder.
Yeah, but where is the holiday special folder?
Oh, we had hard copies of that stuff.
Oh, so are you looking at a piece of paper or are you looking at it online?
Piece of paper from
Oh, okay. So I don't think I have it.
Just get it ready for Christmas.
Well, we're gonna get, yeah. Herb, get on that. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to do anything at all. Don't, no pressure. But yeah, and I'm sure that people are gonna want to look at some Christmas songs in the coming weeks for sure. Most of my students, my guitar students,
Earlier, yeah.
yeah, they're switching over. You know, they wanna learn some Christmas songs. I'm surprised that it's got a tremolo. Is it right at the end?
The end.
Yeah.
Like before, the last song is Santa Claus is coming to town. It's like before town. It's a
Tremolo.
Yeah, tremolo.
Yeah, it probably means like that, like a down, up, down, up, down, up. Like we do at the end of songs sometimes when everybody goes, you know.
Yeah, but I have a problem to do fast. How you do that?
again, that's practice. And you want to go from very, very slow and then slowly speed it up. And something that helps a lot is called a metronome. And let me show you what exactly I mean by that and how to find a metronome for free without even looking. And, you know, it's just right there because Google, in their infinite wisdom, have given us a metronome. So we just type in up here, metronome, hit enter. So it's metronome, boom, metronome. Type that in, and this little device right here is a metronome. Now you've got the beats per minute here. Now what beats per minute is the speed, right? So the lower the beats per minute, the slower the metronome. See that? Can everyone hear that click? And then we've got the faster you go, the faster the click. Now, for whatever reason, using a metronome to practice playing fast, what I would do is lower it to maybe 50 beats per minute and then pick a chord. So I'll play a C chord, right? And then you want to go down, up, just on the clicks, right? So like this. And do that for maybe 5 minutes, right? Once you start getting good at that, and you may find it, I find it more difficult to play slowly for some reason, to play along with a click slowly, because it's almost like guessing when the next click is going to come until you start to get into the groove of it, right? Then you want to slowly sort of advance it by 5, maybe 10 beats per minute and do the same thing. Down, up, down, up, down, up. And you'll start to find that as you increase it, and if it's way too easy for you at 50, bring it up to 80, bring it up to 90, you know, start at a point where it's easy, okay? And then start bringing it up by 5 beats per minute at a time by dragging this little dot here. That's how you increase or decrease the beats per minute. And it actually turns different colors when it gets too fast. So like 218 beats per minute is in red. And I don't think that's that fast, honestly, Google, but whatever. So yeah, you'll be amazed at how much better the learning sinks in when you've got an actual time behind you, right? Rather than just sort of guessing. Plus, it'll improve your rhythm. Many guitar players and stringed instrument players, still professional, making millions of dollars doing it, still practice with a metronome every day. Because it's very different than practicing with, with your own mind and just guessing. It helps you to lock in to what different beats per minute feel like, right? And that'll help you get faster. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And once you get to 90, 100, 120 beats per minute, you're going to start to see that, I could do this. And you'll be able to do it in a very controlled way. Because I know a lot of people, when they start playing, even me, it's a very chaotic, I'm just slamming on the ukulele. I'm not, it's anarchy. I don't know what I'm doing. Total and utter musical anarchy. Yes, Steve.
Same thing you see like on
Yeah.
pianos and stuff, and it's a tick-tock, goes back and forth.
That's this guy right here. That's a metronome. Yep. That's exact. Yep.
On my computer.
This thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a metronome.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It just makes a click.
Yeah.
There are other metronome apps that you can get on your phone, and some of them you could even change the sound of the click to make it like a cymbal or a kick drum or a snare drum or something like that. So it's a little less objectionable than just listening to beep, 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 all in a row. But it doesn't matter what it is as long as it keeps time, right? And you play along with that. And you might even want to try that with if you have trouble with rhythm in just regular songs, and I'll demonstrate briefly how that will work. So if we say go into the songbook roll up, and we'll check out, I don't know, song 3. Oh no, how about 2? There we go. You Are My Sunshine. Now, if you have 2 tabs open, tabs is a whole nother technological advancement that we could talk about. Tabs, you hit Control on your keyboard, which usually says CTRL, hold that down and press T. If you're on a Mac, it would be Command, hold it down, and at the same time, press T, and it'll open up a tab. Or you see this little plus symbol right here? You can click that too and open up another tab. The reason for that is so we can have this metronome going at the same time as we're reading the music, right? So on this tab, I have the metronome open, and on the tab before, I have hundreds of tabs up here, as you can see. It's a bad habit of me saving pages that I want to look at later as tabs. And then I never do, and then
I do the same exact thing.
yeah, look at this. It's insane. And this is all stuff I want to buy.
I feel good. I feel good now, Chris, because you're worse than me. All right.
Oh, way worse. Way worse. I'm up there, man. I'm up there. Gets to the point where I can't even see the little logos anymore, like this. So I have no idea what's on that page anymore. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, but keep one tab open with the metronome, hit play. Good, we got that click going. Then you would go over to the page with the music. All right. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. You want that first down to be on every click, right? So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. It's a little fast, so I'm gonna slow that down a little bit. Way too slow. Let's bring it to 45. Down, 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 up, down, 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 You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Now, I don't know if that's syncing up for you guys. It might not be because of the lag in my microphone, and the metronome might be reaching you faster than the microphone is reaching you. So that might be causing it to not be totally in sync. But I sound great over here, just so you know. So that's what matters. No, but you could actually, you know, when the video is recorded and up on YouTube, if you want to check it out, it'll show it in sync perfectly. And there's another way you could do it too. Let's say that I'm waiting for the beat and it's taking too long. You could bring it up, let's say double this. So that will be 90 beats per minute. And you're like, oh, that's crazy. But listen to what I'm going to do. You strum it the same amount of times, but down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Now it's different. Now we're not waiting for every click for the first one. We're strumming along as if it were 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So it'll be. And I guarantee you that if you do this long enough and play around with this with different speeds and different divisions of the beat, that your rhythm will improve drastically. It may even be really hard to do in the beginning. You might find it very difficult, and don't judge yourself. Everything to do with a musical instrument when you first start playing it is counterintuitive, right? It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel, why am I doing this? People who are quote unquote naturals with music, either you're a prodigy or they've been practicing way more than they tell you, right? Because very few people are born with an innate understanding of music. And even people who are prodigies, I have my sneaking suspicion that the parents have a little something to do with that. Because if you take a very young child and start showing them music and like, this is an A and this is they're starting to find out that you can give a kid at the very least perfect pitch. You could gift them with that it's not just something that you are born with. Either you have, and perfect pitch, for those who don't know, these guys are pretty incredible. You hit a note or play a chord and they can tell you exactly what the note is, or exactly what notes are inside a chord, and really complex chords. There's this guy, Dave Beato, he's been basically proving that you can give your kid perfect pitch by taking his son and showing him music theory, and he'll play this crazy chord with like 30 notes in it, and his son will go E flat minor 11/13 with a like just rattle off what the chord is, and it's amazing. And even beyond that, if you want to see an actual prodigy, look up Jacob Collier, Collier. Holy Christmas, is that guy amazing. He has perfect pitch, and he could also explain musical ideas in ways that are crazy, but I'm getting way off track, and you'll enjoy his music. It's a lot like Stevie Wonder. So just talking about tremolo got us into that whole metronome thing, but that's how you build up speed, right? Always go from very, very slow, almost slower than is comfortable for you, to build up to fast. You know, if you try to just play fast, it'll never work. Yes, Vicky.
When you're doing the tremolo, let's say with either one or two strings or even just the whole mass, do you hold your how do you hold your fingers? Or is there a way?
Well, you mean like when you play a vibrato? Like
Vibrato.
when you're bending? No, I'm not being like a wise ass. I'm saying, you mean like bending the string or playing up and down really fast?
Playing up and down really fast.
I'm really not doing anything different with my left hand.
No.
I feel like I'm just holding the chord the same way.
It's the other hand.
This hand.
Yes.
It's still just strumming down and up, you know, and the way I strum, which is a way a lot of you strum, I think, is like a flick almost, right? So like it's that motion, so boink, like that, but only downwards, right? And then you sort of reverse it coming back up. And you can get pretty fast with that, with just your finger, but you will reach a point where your finger can't go fast anymore, and then your wrist starts to get involved, right? So it's sort of like turning a doorknob. That's the rotation that my wrist is doing. And a little bit up and down as well. So it's a rotate and an up and down. I know that sounded complicated. It's not. Really, whatever is most comfortable for you to quickly strum down and strum back up, right? You might even just want to keep your finger in one place and just move your wrist, right? And not do the flicking thing at all. Just sort of like, I'm keeping my finger rigid and just moving it up and down like this. Right? That's another way you could do it.
Chris, can I see your finger? The index one.
Like this?
Your finger. A fingernail. Can I see the shape of your fingernail? Oh, okay. It's not
rounded.
pointed.
It's rounded. Yeah, they're all rounded. And for anyone who doesn't know, I have 4 acrylics on these fingers. I used to get those glue-on nails, but they always popped off. And then because I don't like, they have finger picks that go on your fingers, but they always felt really cumbersome and unnatural, and I would hit the wrong strings and everything. My own natural fingernails are way too thin, and they would break, which is extremely unpleasant when you're playing guitar. And then someone said, why don't you just get acrylics? And I said, I don't know why I don't just get acrylics. And it's been great for me. You know, the only thing is you got to go every 3-4 weeks, whatever. I mean, I guess it's 2, it's supposed to be 2, but Sometimes I'll wait until they pop off, which isn't the best idea in the world. But yeah, you know, and the thing about 4 acrylics is it's way cheaper, ladies. I'm just saying. They only charge me $30, so might be the way to go. But yeah, I don't do my pinky because sometimes I'll plant my pinky on the face of the instrument like this to sort of to give it like balance, you know, and when I'm doing finger picking, you'll notice that these 3 fingers are floating, but I've got my pinky planted on the face of the ukulele. Sometimes I'll do that. I try not to. It's not the best habit in the world. So my pinky has no nail on it, just these 4 fingers, just these 4. But yeah, they're all rounded. If you have a corner, I had them in all different shapes, right? Square doesn't, it can sort of catch on the corner when you're playing, you know? And a sharp point works too, if that's your thing and you're like, you know, but I just felt like that looked a little witchy for my taste. But yeah, you know, so as long as the string can roll off of your nail, it's fine. You just don't want it in a spot where it can catch, right? When you're doing finger picking. And there are, for those of you who are adverse to, you know, walking into a salon and saying, I want 4 nails, you know, there are alternatives. There are finger picks, there's plastic ones, there's metal ones, there's all kinds of different stuff. I personally just found them very uncomfortable. I couldn't work. I even got these weird Alaskan ones that went under the nail that were supposed to like support your nail, and they didn't work. And everyone was like, it's just like your real nail. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, Alaskan Picking Company, you lying bastard. No, sorry. Anyway. Moving on, yes, so that's tremolo, vibrato. That was quite a bit of talking on that subject. I apologize for anyone who was bored, but I think we touched on a lot of stuff there. I think we got a lot covered. We've only got 5 minutes left, but does anyone have any questions that I could touch on now? Any burning desires to know anything in particular or have any advice? And secondly, does anyone have any questions that would take longer than 5 minutes that we might want to look at next week? Yes, Vicky, you got to unmute. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I didn't do my homework, so it's not quite fair to ask you, but this has to do with background music, or just, let's say, you just want to kind of pick notes that are in the C, and there's background. Didn't you call it background music?
Background music. Backing tracks. Backing tracks. Yeah.
Because I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, it would be hard to find if you typed in background music. I'll show you exactly what I was doing here really quickly. So if you go in again to Google and just type in whatever the scale is you want to use, right? So let's say you're practicing C major, okay? You would type in literally C major. Oh, see my typing skills. Backing track. And it'll come up very, very, you know, close to the top. Now, there'll be hundreds of these in different genres. Here's an acoustic guitar backing track in C major. Now, what backing tracks are, it's just music. There's no singing and there's no melody part, like no, you know, guitar playing a melody. It's just chords. And it allows you to, there we go. Okay, I just wanted to find some C notes. That was really sad, and it took me that long. Okay, so we've got something like this. I'll skip the Mandalorian. This one even shows the C major scale. So unfortunately, it's only for guitar. But this is essentially going to repeat this here. Now, what the hell can I do with this? Well, you can practice your scale. So you got a C major scale. 3 notes that I figured out, right? And all I'm doing is playing the notes in a C major scale. Now, we're not looking at those right now, unfortunately, but seeing it'll pick up. And these things go on for, I mean, this one's 7 minutes, and you can loop them. You can do whatever you want. And one cool extra is you could also choose genres. So you could do a jazz, let's do C major backing track blues, right?
Can you type in ukulele, or they're all going to come up?
I don't know. I don't know if that's a big thing. It's a big thing for guitar players practicing their scales. But let's try ukulele, C major, backing track blues. Ukulele, guitar, backing track, and C major. I don't know what that means. See, it's still for guitar. Ukulele, backing track, C major. Yeah, it doesn't say the scales or anything like that. And honestly, the music, the background music isn't what's important, right? It's the scales that you're playing that are important. And what you could do is, you know, again, using tabs, open up another tab to look up the C major scale in ukulele scale. I tend to go into images and try to find one that, look at that, all the notes in the C major scale. Right there. So you can keep this up. Let's go find a, I want to check out that blues backing track in C. Oh, so many ads. Here we go. Then open up your scale, and you're just stringing together these notes. The key is you always want to try to come back to C, which in these chord shapes, so usually the C, which is the root note, that's the note that the scale is named after. In this case, C major, C is in a different color almost on every one of these chord charts. So in this case, it's orange, so you can see where it is. But you've got like, oh, and these first 4 are the open strings, not dots where you put your fingers. So you've got G, C, E, A open. The first open C is a root note here. So you would be looking from here down like this. 12th fret, you know, and all I'm really doing is stringing together the notes and trying to make them sound cool. You know, I have a lot more experience with it, so I know what phrases sound good, and I have some ideas about how to move around the fretboard a little better. But that's all you're really doing. And even if you're just going, you know, with a backing track, and you want to just practice your scale, that's cool too. So if you want to just go, you know, starting on the 3rd string, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You know what I mean? You could do that too. You could just go up and down the scale. But play with it. Play around with, like, see if you can make it sound like B.B. King. Who knows? Maybe you can find those notes. You might be the next B.B. King. Yeah. You know, that's what backing tracks are. And they don't have to be blues. They have backing tracks for everything. I mean, you know, let's try A minor, backing track, Latin. Latin groove backing track in A minor. I mean, come on, man. They got everything, everything, you know? Nobody cares. All right.
Oh, no, that's a commercial.
I know. It's awful. Check it out. There you go. A minor backing track. Now, again, what will we do for our scales? A minor scale, ukulele, and then find one to look at. Whatever this website is, it's pretty awesome. Let me turn that down. And this will repeat forever, man.
Now, Chris,
Yes.
what exactly are you playing here?
So
What notes are you playing?
While this is playing, I am looking at this diagram right
Right.
here, right?
Right.
Now, the best advice I could give you is to start on A, right? And try to end up on A. So when the song's going, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that 1 is super important, right? And every now and then you want to try to land that 1 on an A. But otherwise, I'm honestly just random. It's not, okay, so to me, it's not random. I have a kind of an idea of where I'm going, but it's very much improvised, right? It's not written, it's not anything. I'm just slamming those notes together. And this is the thing that I think that I may not have mentioned. You cannot play a wrong note if you're only playing the notes in this diagram chart right here. Can't do it. That's the whole point of scales. Whole reason you learn scales is because when someone is playing something in the key of A minor and you are playing an A minor scale on your instrument, all of the notes are going to sound good. And then it's just a matter of stringing them together. And that's really what I was doing, is just sort of playing different notes. Like this is
Any of these notes?
All of them, yes. Any of the notes that are here. The orange dot is the root note, which is A, which again, you should use as sort of a starting point. Think of it almost like home base, right? And you sort of go out away from home base, and then you got to come back at the end of the day or at the end of the bar of music, you know, whatever you're doing. And all the other notes are different places you can visit while you're out away from home, right? It really, and then you get different emotional experiences depending on how you put those places you visited together, right? Like if I went to the Lincoln Memorial and then went to a coffee shop, it's a totally different thing than if I went to, you know, the plant store and came back home, right? Like there's different feelings that you get from different notes that against that, but every one of these notes is going to sound good. That's the cool part. If you just memorize these where the notes are in an A minor chord, I mean, it's not that easy to do. We'll talk about chord scale shapes next week, which is an easier way to break up than trying to memorize the whole fretboard, right? But A minor, for example, all it is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. That's A minor. No sharps, no flats, no nothing. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So, and you'll notice that the notes are all labeled, and you'll see that there's no sharps or flats on any of these notes. Now, so anywhere on the neck. So this is the first fret here, right? And all of these notes, by the way, C, G, all of the open strings are notes in the A minor scale, right? A is the first string open, is the only one that's the root note, but the other notes will sound good. Like you'll hear it if I play just open strings along with the A minor backing track. it still sounds all right, right? Like none of them were wrong. That G was a little funky, but I think it's because it jumped down a whole octave. But it still works, right? So that's what scales are. Scales are a combination of notes up and down the neck that you can play along with music and make up your own melodies. As a matter of fact, all the melodies that you hear along with a song are written from a scale, right? From the scale of whatever the key of the song is. So for example, if you were to hear a song, like what's a song in A minor? If I'm keeping you guys, you're welcome to leave. A minor song, Famous. That's not Famous. Not TikTok Famous. Like well known. There's just a million songs that are literally named Famous.
Right.
Famous song in A minor key. Happy Love Song. Forget it. The point is that if I found one of those songs, right, whatever the melody was that they sang, so happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, first thing that popped into my head. That's in the key of what? C major? All of those notes in C major, you can find, you can tap out that you'll find it among the notes of the C major scale. It's in there, right? It has to be, because other notes don't sound right. They won't sound right with that particular scale and with that particular key. That's not a 100% hard and fast rule, but it's 95. It's up there. There are notes called blue notes, which are notes that are sort of outside of the scale that you can kind of bend into, but you can't hang out there for very long. If you play those notes for too long, they'll sound terrible up against a particular key. So that's what we're really doing right now is we're touching on what music theory is. If you've ever heard that term, music theory, that's really what this is. It's talking about how chords are structured, how scales, chords, all the chords that are in the key of a song. When you say a song is in the key of C, all the chords are built from the notes of the C major scale, right? So you've got, for C major, it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, straight across, no sharps or flats. The first chord in a C major key is C major, which is made of C, E, and G. C, E, and G makes up, which are out of the C major scale. So is anybody at all interested in touching on theory some more, or is it just like insanely confusing at this point? I know Vicky wants to do some theory, Dave wants to do some theory, or is it, you really tell me if it's not something you're interested in. I'm pretty sure Herb wouldn't mind it too much. Nope, looks like that was a yes, kind of thumbs up, good. Beverly? Yes, and Yaya and David?
No, I didn't see myself on the screen, so I didn't know I'm on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could see you guys. I got it all wide open. I could see all of you. You don't even know. I'm watching when you think I'm not. Seriously.
Just like Santa, just like Santa.
I was gonna say Big Brother, but yeah, Santa, that too. Same thing. Wow, Santa was like Big Brother for little children. That's so weird. Anyway.
Well, that's the elf on the shelf. That's the.
Oh, that thing is frightening. Whew, scary. I don't like that guy.
No, I like the theory. I'm not, when it gets too deep, you lose me, but some theory is good.
Right. And that's the thing, is it is very easy to just sort of offhandedly mention something like, yeah, so that means that the major second of the, and I have to be careful with that. I know I have to be careful with that because you can get, theory is one of those things. It's like $5 to get in, but you can climb as high as you want to. It can get as crazy. I mean, you can go really, really deep with it, like why certain chords evoke certain emotional responses, all kinds of crazy stuff about theory and how music is used, because it's theory. A theory can be, it can be anything. You could say, you can make almost any connection, but the basics of it is what I think is really important. And understanding the basics of it is a big deal. Just, you know, just chapter 1, maybe a little bit of chapter 2. That's all I'm really talking about here. Not the major, you know, just the basics. And if you want to learn more, if you want to get into an advanced theory thing, I'd be glad to do that as well. One thing I'm going to start to push everybody to do a little bit more is actually learning the notes of the fretboard, right? I've been doing little interviews with like my students and even other guitar players I know. Guitar players that are way better than me, and they don't know their way around the fretboard, meaning if, you know, there's at least on a guitar, there's at least 8 of every note, right? Usually more than that, depending on the type of guitar. It's probably about 6 on the ukulele of every single note, meaning that you can find that C note in 6 different places on the neck, right? All of you, I'm sure, will look at the fretboard and go, what? Like, where are they, you know? And that's normal. And I'm finding out that that's more and more normal, even with people who are super advanced. So I'm going to start taking some time to talk about how you could find different notes in different spots on the ukulele, rather than just sticking in the first 3 frets, which is basically what we do, you know? It's maybe the first 5, right? We stay in the first 5 frets, and I don't think we ever venture out of there at all. And there's a lot more music to be had if you do that, you know, and that's a part of theory as well. So, man, I could really go on forever when I get going, can't I? 5:15. Sorry about that, guys.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for being here. I hope everyone enjoyed it. You know, you gotta jump in line, man. Dee was ready right away with that question, and I'm just taking them as they come, you know? So if you want to email me first and get ahead of the line, maybe cheat it a little bit, maybe we'll do that, you know, if you got questions. Bye, Herb. Yeah, and David,
Bye-bye.
thank you for being here. Bye, Beverly.
See you guys.
Thank you, Vicky. And
Good
thank you
night,
for
thanks.
everything we talked about before.
Thank you.
No problem. Bye, Dave.